weekend, and yeah, we're going about to do what it do. So we're here. Hope you've had a great weekend. We've been spoilt for fights, um, and we're going to get into this. Welcome to Fight Fan TV Live. This is Danny, aka Danny Glover. So yeah, we're gonna go into the German card first. Um, Dominic Bozel won on points, got back his IBO super light heavyweight title against Robin Krasniqi. It was quite controversial. Krasniqi was not happy, so we might be heading into a third fight with that. Um, if you paid your $1.99 or $7.99 for the zone, where you paid for your BT Sport pay-per-view card, $24.95, you got your money's worth. You had a great night of boxing. Um, First, we're going to start off with Solomon Dakers. Good points victory, 8 rounds. I predicted he was going to win it by around 2 rounds. He ended up winning it by 4 rounds. So he done very well, considering that's only his third fight against Kamil Sokolowski. Sokolowski was hitting him catching him some good shots, and Solomon was keeping himself a bit too thereafter, throwing his shots. Needs to work on his power a bit. Hopefully that will come in time. But he's got good movement, good lateral movement, throws some good shots. He started, where Sokolowski started fading down the stretch. Could have possibly got a stoppage if he stepped on the gas a bit while the ref was looking in. But Solomon, he got a nice points victory, so onwards and upwards for him. So big ups for that, Solomon. Then we have Shannon Courtney versus Jamie Mitchell. I'd never seen Jamie Mitchell fight before, but I wanted her to win just because of Shannon's attitude and the way she goes on. She thinks she's a bit too upper tier. I don't know why. She says she's from, she was a party girl, rough background and stuff like that, but I don't know, she thinks she's a bit prestige, and some people like to boost her up and gas her up a bit, but I don't know why, but it is what it is. But Jamie, first time I seen her fight, and was very impressed, stepping off to the side, throwing lovely combinations, shoe shining, headshots, really working Shannon over in the course, especially in the open early rounds and stuff. Took the early rounds easy. I gave Shannon 2 rounds, 3 rounds at best, but I think I gave her like 2. She done well in the was it the 8th? After she had a torrid 7th, she had a good 8th round, landing some good shots. Shannon did good straight right hands, pushing Jamie back, and then Jamie finished the stronger in the last round. Shannon's looking well bemused. I'm not sure if her corner was telling her she'd done enough. I know she looked over to Richie Woodall, or one of the team, the zone, and they gave it a look like he lost, and she looked like horrified. And then she started looking like, and everyone was like, come on, stop. And then even her post-fight interview was just like really distasteful. Oh, she's got the belt now, but I've got the rematch clause. I will exercise it, and she ain't gonna have the belt for long because I'm gonna get it back. It's like, that's sour grapes, and you're sounding real negative and a bit mean, man. It's like, calm down. Like, you just lost. Like, accept your defeat. Like, don't start behaving this way. You're turning people off. One second. You're turning people off with your behavior, man. So, at the end of the day, you need to show some humility and just say and then I see a statement. I think someone must have had a word with her, because then all of a sudden she's talking about, sometimes you see things the way a bit different to how things look different to how you perceive it when you're in there. It's like your back was on the ropes for most of the fight. You was getting comboed body shots, head shots. Like, you could never think that the CompuBox numbers, they wasn't disclosed, but surely you would know the CompuBox numbers wouldn't equate to you winning. You didn't land the better shots. You didn't land the cleaner shots. I wouldn't even say you landed the harder shots. You landed some good hard shots in the 8th. But apart from that, you was getting really, you was getting hurt. Your head was swiveling. Yeah, so I don't know what really how you could even think you won this. But it is what it is. So well done to Jamie Mitchell. My boy Ashley Fearfane said he used to see her out in Vegas. He said she didn't look too that impressive when he saw her in the gym, but maybe, you know, we know some people ain't gym fighters. Some people don't look that good on the pads or the bag, but when it's time to turn up, but you know, they don't look all that inspiring. But when it's time to actually fight, or maybe she's improved since he'd like being out in Vegas, because it's probably been a couple of years due to, you know, the pandemic and whatnot. So yeah, well done for that. We're gonna move on to Luke Willis versus Ryan Charlton. That was a good fight. That Luke Willis, he's a bit like a Michael McKinson, you know, proper mover. He's only got one stoppage on his record out of 11 wins now, so he's not a puncher, but he seemed to have a bit more power than his record suggests. But maybe because he doesn't plant his feet and he's always on the move, he isn't really going to get that many stoppages unless he decides to start coming forward and being a bit more aggressive with his approach. But yeah, he was outboxing Charlton for the first half easily. Charlton started coming back into it. I was on the phone to my cousin Craig Richards. He was like, Charlton needs to start, you know, working the body and then come over the top with the right hand. And as soon as he started doing it, he was like, see, I told you, this is what he needs to do. So they started calling it back. Willis got a point taken off of him. I forgot what round it was. And then, yeah, it ended up, one judge had it a draw. Oh, and one judge had it a draw in the Shannon Courtney fight. I don't want to call out this guy. This guy's name is Jesus Morata Garcia, and he's from Spain. He needs investigating. Yeah, he needs investigating. Even this Jordan Ezekiev from Bulgaria, he had it 96-94 in the Shannon Courtney and Jamie Mitchell fight. The ref had it. Howard Foster had it 97-93, so he had it wide. It's the British judge. So maybe because of the controversy, he decided to act right. But I had it 98-92, but yeah, 97-93 is cool. That's why I said 2-3 rounds at best. But yeah, one judge had it a draw in the Luke Willis Ryan Charlton fight. The other one had it 95-90. The other two had it 95-94, so 1 point. So that was really close to the cards. I had it wider than that, but the right man got the decision at the end of the day. The next one is Kieran Conway versus James Metcalf. Routine kind of fight, domestic type fight. That Kieran Conway though, he's massive for the weight. I notice he always looks like two weight divisions above his opponents. Even when he fought Suleiman Sissoko, he just looks big. He's got like them big, broad swimmer shoulders. He's got big legs. He's tall, and he just makes the weight. I don't understand. But he's not powerful. He's only got 3 KOs in 17 wins or something like that. So sometimes it's not always about making the weight if it takes away something from you, i.e. your punch power or your punch resistance, which I think is something which hindered Anthony Fowler in his fight. But we'll get onto that a bit later. Well, in a couple of minutes. So the next fight now, this for me was the fight of the night on the British side of things anyway, and that would be Ted Cheeseman versus Troy Williamson. 1 second, this light's looking mad dim. Automatic lights, man, it's annoying. But yeah, Ted Cheeseman versus Troy Williamson. Back and forth fight, big hard shots going in from the opening round. Ted Cheeseman working the body. You could see by round 3 that some of the body shots was actually starting to hurt Troy Williamson, while Troy was landing big head shots. Ted Cheeseman, always noted for a great chin. Takes too many punches though, to be fair. I don't really like that. He's always in hard fights as well against decent diggers, kind of like Sam Eggington to a degree. You know, Ted Cheeseman was only 26. Sam Eggington is 27, but for their boxing career and life, their mileage is high, you know. So you got to be careful with him. You know, Ted's was signaled that he might walk away, but he said he's having a big break and he'll decide what to do next. So a lot of people are calling for him to retire. But back to the fight, you know, then it got to, because it was a round 10 TKO. So the canvas wasn't really helping the fight as they were slipping around. Ted got rocked in about round 5. He kind of went a bit funny there. Troy, anytime he was getting hit with the bombs, he was just walking through it. He was like a real big, strong John Henry type guy from Darlington. Yeah, wouldn't be denied. And the ending, he went back on his feet, on his leg, kind of like George Groves on the ground. When he got hit, he said swivel back. It kind of reminded me a bit of Craig Richards versus Shakan Peters. The ending, it was a bit similar. The only difference is Shakan is southpaw, so what it was, whereas Craig threw the uppercut, the right uppercut, missed it. He kind of headbutted Shakan's right hook jab thing, and then came around the corner with the left hook. Troy threw the right uppercut, landed it. Ted Cheeseman threw a right hand, caught Troy, and then Troy threw a right hand left hook, and then swiveled him and flattened him, took him out. Yeah, bad knockout, very bad knockout in what was a brutal, grueling, hard fight. So yeah, then the next fight was Liam Smith versus Anthony Fowler as the main event. I predicted Troy Williamson to win, by the way, even though he was the bookie's underdog. With the main event, I predicted Liam Smith. As I said, Anthony Fowler, he didn't look good on the scales. Another one, just because you can make the weight and be big for the weight, it doesn't mean it's good for you, because it takes away your punch resistance at the end of the day. And I knew that was going to come into play. You know, he got a chopping. He started very fast, came out, cut Liam early, landed some big shots, wobbled Liam a bit. I gave Fowler the first 3 rounds. Then Liam started to, come into it in the 4th, as he come over the side, chopped over the right hand. In the 5th, dropped Fowler, and then from there it was kind of it was just all going Liam Smith's way, really. And then in the 8th, and they were both cut, but in the 8th round, then Liam kind of went round the body as Anthony Fowler came up to try and get round the corner. Then he threw another left hook, and Anthony Fowler went down. He got up at 9.5, but he was staggering. His back was turned to the ref. Not in a coward's way. It's just I don't think he knew where he was, and he was like really just trying to make the count. Like he was at 9.5, and the ref just said, "Yeah, that's enough." For me, Fowler needs to go up a weight to 160. It's only 6 pounds. It's only 6 pounds from 154 to 160. So he needs to do that because he's taking away his punch resistance, I've always said from the amateurs, his style, it reminds me of a poor man's Carl Froch. Just less chin, less punch power, because in domestic level, Froch was just blasting them guys out easy. He just breezed through them, and a much smaller engine, because Fowler shown to blow up and gas out in fights a few times now, and I think that's down to trying to make the weight. He can do all the CBD and the great sleeps and all that, but I see him on his social medias, his Twitter. He trains like a demon, so it's not that he's cutting any corners in training. He trains properly. It's just he overcooks it. He probably leaves it in the gym, but it's the weight cutting. When he cuts the weight, he's probably great during camp, and then when he's got to cut down that last bit, probably last half a stone, that takes it away from him. 1 second, guys. sorry about this. This won't happen. I'll get a better setup next time. So yeah, shout out to everyone tuning in. And then, so yeah, he needs to just go up a weight at the end of the day. Good coach in Shane McGuigan, and probably needs to go down a level. You know, he hasn't even fought for the British title or the Commonwealth title. You know, fights against Troy Williamson, Sam Eggington. Yeah, he needs to fight them kind of guys. He hasn't done a British title fight or a Commonwealth title fight. There's some good guys for him to fight at British and Commonwealth level, and that way he can, you know, go for it the right way. He's been kind of fast tracked twice. Well, the Scott Fitzgerald thing was a 50-50 fight, and he come up a bit short at the end when he got dropped, but he was winning. And then, yeah, the Liam Smith one, he got thrown in, but that was a good Scouse derby. As I said, the Smith brothers, that Smith family, they, you know, this is going to be one of them families like, do you know the Smith family? Like, yeah, really hard. Remember, all of them can fight. Every single one of them brothers can fight. I know the brothers, they all can fight. You're talking about Paul Smith, Stephen Smith, Liam Smith, Callum Smith, you know, all of them can fight. They all have won the British title. That's like all four of them. So all of them at least have won the British title at least, and they all fought for world titles, with two of them being former world champions and two of them coming up short in their world title fights, but they're all world-class, world-level fighters. So that's family very serious, and they've never lost a local derby to a fellow Scouse and Liverpudlian from, I remember when Paul Smith fought Quigley back in the day, and that was like the first one. He was the one who set pace, and that was a good fight. So yeah, from then they don't lose to as you see, what's his name, Callum Smith first. What's his name, the other tall brother, the one who got done by the body shots with against Canelo. You know what I'm talking about. One guy tried to say they weren't even sure that Cater Plant was on his level, but I was like, do you think that guy could be Jose Uzcata guy? I don't think so. But yes, someone remind me in the comments. I'll know straight after. It's so annoying when the mind goes blank at the time. But yeah, the one who Callum Smith done it around. So yeah, so onto the American card. Gerard Anderson, second round TKO. The guy, he's a big lump, you know, that guy. He's taller, big, unbeaten, former sparring partner of Vladimir Klitschko. I think he used to spar both brothers. But yeah, Gerard Anderson, too much good movement, speed and precision, good power as well. Can anyone beat Fury? We're going to get onto that Midnight Madness. Oh, you're liking the CBD comment. But yeah, too much. Yeah, so he looks to the ref for a way out. The ref gave the guy the way out after Gerard Anderson lamped him with a big right hand whilst he was in the corner. Julian Williams lost on points to Vladimir Hernandez. That Hernandez guy was just not to be denied. He was just on to him. Yeah, he was persistent. As one of my sayings go, persistence beats resistance, and that guy weren't to be denied. Some people telling me, oh, they fought Julian, when I'm like, no, man, he got worked over. Julian, where does he go? I don't know. You know, he's still a brand name. He can do bits, but we'll see. But it's going to be a tough road back, if there is a road back. Edgar Berlanga won on points. Didn't look impressive. Mash up my accumulator. Because I put him as TKO win. It's the second time he's made me lose money now. And he got dropped in the 9th round, over eager. Got dropped by that Esteban Coceres, Marcelo Esteban Coceres. That Coceres looked alright on the move and stuff. As we said, as I said before, he was beating Billy Joe Saunders until Billy Joe found a shot to pull it out of the bag and turn it around and get rid of him. Edgar Berlanga couldn't. He rocked him, he wobbled him in I forgot what round it was, but after that he didn't hurt Coceres at all after that. If anything, he got dropped and he was on the floor like frustrated or whatever. You know, I see Fat Joe really bigs him, props him up. Obviously the Puerto Rican brotherly connection and all that, but yeah, someone like my boy David Benavidez will eat him alive. So yeah, he's got a lot of work to do, that guy. FA Jagba versus Frank Chad Sanchez. I was really looking forward to this fight, but it was a bit lackluster. Um, I was getting tired. I started falling asleep, like not falling asleep, but drifting, like kind of half falling asleep. But I fought through it. But I was watching boxing from 4:30 in the afternoon, to be fair. So in total, I was actually watching boxing for 14 and a half hours. So that's a serious shift, bruv. So yeah, Frank Sanchez. I picked a fair jack, but I said he's gonna come from behind and find the shot. 1 second. Yeah, I said he was gonna come from behind, find the shot, but he couldn't. Frank Sanchez, he was holding on the rope, doing all the old Cuban tricks and moving and all that. He doesn't really have power though, but he did manage to drop F.A. Jedburgh in the seventh. Come over the top, kind of hit him high on the back of the head as his knees bent, hit him with the uppercut. The commentators was like that was illegal, but when you watch a replay, his glove didn't touch the canvas, his knee never touched the canvas, so the uppercut was good money. And he won convincingly on points. F.A. Jagba too slow, too crude, and just couldn't really catch Frank at the end of the day. So yeah, it was what it was. And then Robert Helenius versus Cal Naki. I asked Joe Washington for his prediction. He picked Helenius on points. He just said Adam won't rush in and he'll lose on points. I thought that Adam may be able to be in and out because he looked like he lost weight, maybe a bit faster on his feet, throw clusters and come out. He wasn't able to do that. He got rocked early in the first round. He was taking a bit of a beating. Yeah, it was, yeah, and then he just started resorting to low blows. He started moving Andrew Goloterish, and he got himself disqualified, DQ'd, you know. So he started doing it from his his old uncle Galota got DQ'd. That's really just looking for a way out because he wasn't, he was just getting a hide in and he was close to a stoppage. Helenius, yeah, he looks like that guy. Yeah? Do you remember that neighbour from Home Alone, the one with the shovel, the creepy neighbour who Macaulay Culkin was scared of? Don't you think he looks like him? I was looking at him and I was like, this guy looks like the neighbour from Home Alone. Like, especially when he's walking man down, like, I was like, raw. Like, especially remember when the neighbours like walking to the church, and he's gave him a little sweet or something like that. But yeah, Helenius, good win. And I see Uncle T put something, but I said this to Joe Washington when I interviewed him. Uncle T put a 3-sequence thing, but I did the 4-sequence thing, where I said styles make fights, where I said Adam Kaunaki beat Charles Martin. Charles Martin beat, no, sorry, I said, so Helenius beat Adam Kaunaki. Adam Kaunaki beat Charles Martin. Charles Martin beat Gerald Washington. Gerald Washington beat Helenius. So they, in the full circle, look at that. You would never think that in a full circle they've all got a win over one another, even though other people have beaten the people who've beaten them, even in some cases knockouts. So, and it's good that they're doing this. You know, people say, oh, people ain't fighting people and stuff, but these guys, they're in fun fights. They're fringe world level, world title contenders, and they're all fighting each other. And they had some good fights and good knockouts. So big up to them, man. And then we're going to move on to the main event of Tyson Fury versus Wilder. Now this fight, people saying it's a modern day classic. I agree, because these men were dog tired in the trenches. I've seen people talking about, could this person beat that person? But have we seen some of these other heavyweights able to dig into them trenches, into their minerals and reserves when you're spent, your power's fading, your legs are rubbery, you know, and Wilder took some big shots. People talk about his chin, well, they talk about his legs being skinny, but your legs being skinny don't necessarily mean you're going to have a weak chin. Bernard Hopkins had skinny legs. Chris Eubank Sr. had skinny legs, and they had great chins. So Wilder, he's actually got a very good chin, to be fair. If you actually notice, when he actually gets hurt, it's normally to temple shots. When he got hit by Luis Ortiz, that was a temple shot that got him going. So when you get hit in the temple, that travels to your legs and your ankles. So that's what got him going. But when he actually got hit on the chin by Ortiz, he didn't go, because even when Thingy was like whacking him up on the ropes, bam, 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 he was, you know, he was taking it. But even when Fury was doing that, every time, even in the first fight, Fury was lamping him on the chin in all 3 fights. He never once hit Wilder on the chin and Wilder went. It was always the side of the ear, the back of the ear kind of bit. You know, if Wilder's leaning over something, it's not, if that's, you know, it is what it is, or the temple shot. So you can't say Wilder's got a bad chin. He's got a very good chin. Yeah, so Wilder, he got dropped, he got on the inside. Fury using the near 20 stone, leaning on a man, uppercutting Wilder, hit him a couple shots, went down. He got up in the 4th round. Wilder did the famous bow and arrow, line up right hand. Fury walked into it, which sent shockwaves down his body. He went down. The ref done a mad long, short, like slow count. He's like 1, 2. Like it's like I was like, what's going on here? And then even when he got up and you know, Wilder sort of clubbed him down again, the count was slow again. Even Andre Wall's like, well, hey, what's up with this ref? What's up with his count, man? People need to check on his count. People need to pull up in replays of that count. We'll get that ref's name, by the way, as well. I didn't really catch it. But Midnight Madness. But how good is Wilder's chin really? We've seen multiple guys go 12 rounds with Fury, Chisora, Otto Wallin. But you're talking like Derek Chisora hasn't got a good chin. Derek Chisora's got a very good chin. Remember, Derek Chisora took big punches off of Vladimir Klitschko. And Tyson Fury wasn't hitting Derek Chisora on the chin. He was always hitting him high on the head because Derek Chisora's always like low, bobbing and weaving and stuff like that. Otto Wallin, we haven't seen him knocked out so far. His chin's looked all right so far. We'll find out against Dillian White on the 30th if he's how good his chin is as well. Because if he manages to go points with White, then it'll show he could take a shot. So yeah, you can't really act like, oh, Fury's not a massive, he's not a big hitter, like big hitter, but he's got a lot of weight behind the shots. So he's heavy-handed, and he's outweighing him man by about 40 pounds. You know, he's taking, you know, and yeah. But back to the fight. Yeah, some grueling rounds on the inside, real trenches type fight. They both showed Warriors code, Warriors heart. Malik Scott was really motivating Wilder in the corner. Good advice. Even when the way Wilder come out with the body shots at the beginning, that was really good. I think the right hand to the body kind of Fury felt that. I love the outfit that Wilder come out to as well. He had the proper Papa Shango beads and the whole look with the war colours in red. Fury's one was sick as well. The entrance on the Spartan Trojan business. So they both come ready for war, and that's what we got. It was a war of attrition, last man standing type business. And yeah, Fury, as he slipped under, rolled under a shot, come over with the sweeping right, drop Wilder in the 10th, and then in the 11th, as he's, you know, got Wilder on the ropes, he's come with a sweeping right, and again, kind of like how he hit Steve Cunningham, but the Steve Cunningham one was a left hook, and Wilder went down an ape, and the ref waved it off. Wilder would have still tried to get up and kind of carry him, but he was done. You know, he said, you know, in a post-fight speech, He said, yeah, he knew Wilder Fury was doing stuff in camp, coming at 277 pounds, so he knows he didn't come for a ballet dance. So he tried to rough him up and lean on him, and he was successful at the end of the day, and he was great. But Fury was greater and better, man. Malik Scott said something like that as well. So yeah, very good fight. Modern day classic. People, you know, some civilians and barbershop jargoners, they'll say, oh yeah, people like the back in the day, the heavyweights, they ain't like the ones back in the day. But I'm gonna do a little thread one of these days soon, and we're gonna break down, and we're gonna have to burst some bubbles about your old heroes when they're talking and people are saying they ain't got, you know, but the modern day fighters ain't got warrior heart and spirit like the ones back in the day. But we're gonna break that bubble down here. But I hope you enjoyed today's post-fight analysis, and like, subscribe, share, comment, and yeah, peace. We're out. Danny, Fight Fan TV Live. Bless up.